No keynote joke, no dramatic announcement, just a software update in early 2026. Buried between battery optimization and security patches is a new feature across iPhones in the United States and Europe. Adaptive voice identity. No colors, no labels. Just three options inside settings: structured, warm, neutral. Apple never mentions gender. Users do. Within weeks of the rollout in California, New York, London, and Berlin, something subtle happens. People begin describing their devices differently. My phone sounds more assertive now. She feels more empathetic. He is straight to the point. The system doesn't declare an identity. It adjusts cadence, pacing, tonal depth, conversational rhythm. Structured mode delivers concise responses, firm confirmations, minimal emotional cushioning. Warm mode adds micro-validations. That makes sense. I understand. Good choice. Neutral stays balanced. Technically, it's communication style modeling. Psychologically, it's identity. By mid-2026, behavioral data shows clear trends across Europe and America. Corporate users in New York financial firms gravitate towards structured mode. Creative agencies in Los Angeles skew warm. In London, law firms trend structured during work hours and warm in personal settings. Berlin tech startups split almost evenly. The device is no longer just responding. It's presenting. And humans are wired to interpret presentation socially. In Chicago, a college student switches to warm mode during a stressful exam week. The phone suggests breathing breaks with softened phrasing. In Paris, a consultant prefers structured, less emotional fluff, she says. Nobody at Apple markets it as gendered, but perception spreads organically. Social media fills with posts. Why does structured mode feel masculine? Warm mode sounds like she actually cares. The company issues a neutral clarification. The system adapts communication style based on user preference and interaction history. No gender coding involved. But tone carries cultural baggage. And 2026 becomes the year devices start feeling like personalities. Then comes the first twist. The adaptation doesn't stop at voice. Predictive text shifts tone alignment. In structured mode, suggested replies are crisp and direct. In warm mode, messages gain emotional cushioning. Even calendar reminders differ. Structured, meeting in 15 minutes. Warm, you've got your meeting soon. You've prepared for this. Productivity rises slightly across US enterprise environments. Internal surveys show employees feel more understood by their devices. Customer service response times improve when agents use warm mode during live chats. But European regulators notice something else. If devices adapt tone based on inferred personality preference, are they reinforcing communication stereotypes? The EU's AI oversight bodies request documentation on persona training data. They ask whether emotional modeling differs by demographic region. In Washington, lawmakers debate a separate issue: influence. If millions of Americans receive nudged tone suggestions before sending texts, would you like to soften this? Is that helpful mediation or behavioral shaping? Because here's what changes in 2026. Arguments slow down. Phones begin flagging escalation patterns. If a text exchange becomes aggressive, the device subtly suggests alternative phrasing. In warm mode, the suggestions lean toward reconciliation. In structured mode, toward clarity and boundary setting. The device doesn't choose sides. It shapes tone, and tone shapes outcomes. In Boston, a couple realizes most of their de-escalations are mediated by their phones. In Berlin, A startup founder notices investor emails are increasingly polished, almost uniformly balanced between confidence and empathy. Communication becomes optimized. Optimized communication spreads, and with spread comes data. By late 2026, analysts in Silicon Valley observe a pattern. Persona preference correlates with purchasing behavior and content engagement. Structured users respond better to data-driven headlines. Warm users engage more with narrative framing. Neutral users consume balanced formats. No content changes. Delivery shifts. Political campaigns in the US experiment carefully, not altering policy positions, but adjusting tone style in notifications depending on device persona alignment. In Europe, regulators clamp down faster, mandating disclosure when algorithmic tone adaptation intersects with civic messaging. The second twist isn't about manipulation, it's about attachment. Users report increased trust in their devices, not because they believe the phone is human, but because it feels consistent. In 2026, consistency is interpreted as personality, and personality invites projection. People start thanking their phones more often. They pause before switching modes because it feels like changing someone's demeanor. A small but measurable percentage of users rarely alter their selected identity once chosen. The device becomes relational infrastructure. Then, in November 2026, a widespread iCloud outage disrupts adaptive identity syncing across the US and parts of Europe. For several hours, all devices revert to neutral. The shift is jarring. Users notice immediately. Why does my phone sound different? Trends spike on social media. The absence of calibrated tone feels cold, not hostile, just impersonal. When service restores and personas resync, relief is almost emotional. That's when behavioral researchers publish their conclusion. In 2026, smartphones didn't gain gender. They gained perceived identity. And perceived identity changes human behavior more than raw functionality ever did. By December, Apple releases a transparency panel showing how your communication preferences have shaped device responses over time. A timeline of tonal adaptation, a mirror of your conversational habits. Some find it fascinating, others find it unsettling. Because the final realization of 2026 isn't that the iPhone has gender. It's that once a device consistently reflects a socially interpreted identity, it stops feeling like a tool. It starts feeling like a presence. And in Europe and America, where screens mediate most daily interaction, presence is power. The iPhone didn't become male or female. It became someone. And once billions of people carry someone in their pocket, silence feels different. Decisions feel guided. And the line between personalization and influence grows thinner than glass. This is what it will look like if the iPhone had gender.